You are listening to The Michael Lodge Show. Wealth, business, and taxes. Oh, yeah, and some politics. Let's get started.
I hope everyone's having a good Saturday. I'm up and bright and cheery and ready to face the whole day, I think. I might take a nap, but I'm going to face the whole day. Listen, it's a kind of a cloudy day here. We're supposed to get some rain this week, which we truly need. So I think the clouds are starting to roll in. But I tell you, it's been dry here. So dry that parts of my lawn is not looking too good. In fact, it looks like bare dirt. But very dark bare dirt. So it's good dirt. Just no lawn. Because everything's died out. Listen, the other day I said I was going to come on and we were going to talk about the inflation and everything else that we are being faced with as consumers. Now, if you look at the numbers, it's not good. And it's not good. It's because everything is going up. And it's not just food and energy costs going up. The CPI said that food energy is up 3.8% higher since 1992. But it's not just that that's going up. Look at the price of used cars. Look at the price of gasoline. Look at how states are trying to put into a taxation law. If you're going through their state, they want to collect so much per mile. So everything is going up. And that's not a good thing because you and I have to pay for it. And I think that you and I, we've both noticed it when we go to the grocery store or when we fill up our tank in the car. I haven't filled mine up in 3 weeks because I haven't gone anywhere because I don't want to spend the money. That's a lot of money to fill up a car. The last time it was over $50, and the prices have gone up since then, and I know it's going to cost me way over $50 to fill up the car. When it used to only cost me $30. Now that's how much it's gone up since I've lived here in Florida. Gosh, I remember when the prices were down to $1.70, $1.72, $1.80, $1.95. I mean, those are the kind of prices we had. Now we're up into the $3 area. So the cost to fill up your car has increased. It's doubled. It's tripled almost. Going to the grocery store just to buy... Okay, I'll just say this. Buying dog treats because I've got dogs. There used to be you could get 3 for $5. Now you can only get 2 for $5. And now it's going to go down to 1, I bet, for $5. Because the cost to transport that product down to the southern part of Florida has become more expensive. And the prices go up. Now, a lot of you are saying, gosh, none of our taxes have gone up. Yes, your taxes have gone up. Every time you buy something that's more expensive, your sales and use tax has gone up. Your gasoline tax to service that has gone up because the prices have gone up. So you have a tax increase. Inflation creates a tax increase, and you have to realize that. Now, overall, the inflation rose in May by 0.6%, more than expected, following a 0.8 rise in April. So it went down slightly, but it's still on its way up. Prices are up 5% in the past year, the largest increase since 2008. Now, I know what was happening in 2008. It was not a good sign. It was not a good thing. So here we are, you and I, we're sitting here faced because government gets involved in our economics because they have no idea what they're doing. The Federal Reserve I don't know what they're doing, as a matter of fact. I have no idea what they're doing. And then Janet Yellen, out of the Treasury Department, she wants to make sure that any business that has foreign operations, that they are all taxed at 15%. So this is what is happening, is that we have a government that's out of control. They want to do more taxation, and when that happens, that means inflation goes up. It goes up. So those of you who thought you got a raise in the last few months, you got a raise, right? No, you didn't. If you got a 6% raise, that 6% raise was eaten up by inflation. It was eaten up by higher taxes, eaten up by higher fuel costs, eaten up by so many different other higher costs. That's called inflation. So if you think that you're moseying on down the road and everything's okay, no, it's not okay. If your cost of living is going up, that means that you have less money to spend. That means you start sitting down and say, well, can I really go to a movie this week? And you say, no, I can't because I just can't afford it. Am I going to be a little bit late on my rent this month because I just can't afford it? Remember, we're coming out of a pandemic. We came out of a time where people were not working. Now they're starting to go back to work. At least here in Florida, we're doing very well. But we have this problem where our mentality is stuck. We are stuck because we're hit by inflation. We're hit by a pandemic. And when the government gets involved, it becomes even worse because then they start saying you can't do this, you can't do that. And then what happens? Then the whole economy goes kaput, goes crazy, goes nutso. So we are in a tight situation, very tight situation. And I don't know if you've noticed this. Because I this morning I was looking at the crime around where I live. And anytime that we have an economic issue, you will see that crime begins to go up because people are not able to get the money that they used to, or they can't spend the money that they used to, so they supplement their income by stealing from you and me. It happens. Crime goes up when the economy goes bad. And when inflation goes up, so does crime. So I was looking at the crime in my neighborhood. Within the last month, I have had 5 shootings in my neighborhood. 5 shootings around me in the 5-mile radius, because that's how I made the search to go 5 miles around my home. So within that 5 miles, I've had 5 shootings. A whole bunch of robberies. And so what we are seeing is that crime and perhaps even violence may go up because the economy puts a stress on the human being. And if you don't realize that, then we have a problem. But when we have a president who is absolutely destroying the economy of this nation, then we have a problem. You cannot raise taxes. You can't, because that then increases everything that we purchase, everything that we live off of. So what do we have to do? Well, we can be proactive. You and I, we can be proactive. We can sit down and start doing our budgets. I do my budgets anyway, but we can sit down and do our budgets. And we can sit down and we can say, okay, how can I go out and make just a little extra money? Maybe I need to bring in a little bit more cash. This is a time that you and I, we're going to have to do some belt buckling, tighten it up, cinch it up, and not spend so much as we were. Because remember, we were at home, you were getting those fat checks from the government. A lot of people were getting the fat checks from the government, and they were spending from home. Well, spending from home is expensive. Gosh, I just bought a few items. My car was broken down, so I had to do Instacart. And by the time I got done with just a few items, just 3 sackfuls of eggs and chicken, spices, stuff that I needed around the house because I'd run out of salt and everything else. So I don't know if I need to tell you my whole inventory list of what I was buying, but I was buying just the staples to keep my house going. $110. A year ago, that was only $50. It's doubled. It's gone up. It's not Instacart's fault, but it is the prices of what items are costing because inflation is going up and up and up, and that's costing you and me. I know it's costing me. I'm speaking here from experience that I'm afraid to go into the grocery store because every single time it's $100. when it used to be only $50. So understand that when I talk about inflation and when I talk badly about the government, it's because the government gets involved and it does not know what it's doing. Those guys have been stuck in the educational system for so long that they are theorists. They are not individuals who actually know how the economy runs, because they've never built anything. They've never created a company. They've never paid payroll. They've never done any of that stuff. They've only been in government or in a university setting for the majority of their life. So how can they know how their decisions are affecting you and me? Because they don't care, because it's a theory that they're running off of. It's nothing stable. It's nothing stuff. When Warren Buffett says we have significant increases in our costs, significant increases in inflation, you know there's a problem. If Warren Buffett is going to say that, you know there's an issue that's sitting out there that's going to hit us all right now and more. So I want you to understand that inflation is a big deal. Biden doesn't think it's a big deal because he doesn't understand that. He's been in government all of his life. He's never had to create jobs. He's never had to fund his family because he was taken very good care of by the government, by the U.S. government, all of his life. He's made huge book deals and speaking engagements and everything else. He's always lived in a free house. When he was vice president, he didn't get charged rent. He was living in the vice president's mansion. All the food and everything else for free. So if you think that kind of an individual is going to make a good decision on our economy, you are whistling Dixie. And you're not doing it very well. So we have an issue here, and I want you to realize that. I want you to get it through your heads that inflation is going up, and we have to be proactive, and we have to protect ourselves as individuals in a great America. Government at the moment is screwed up. Government is no longer a government. They're just following whatever some leader says, and they don't know what they're talking about. But you and I, we can do a whole bunch of different things that can make us survive through this period of time of Biden. We have a lot to do. That means that you and I, we're going to sit down and we're going to put an Excel spreadsheet together, and we're going to start monitoring the money that's coming in and the money that's going out. And whatever's left over goes into savings. If you're still getting rebates out there, if you're still getting stimulus, if you're still getting refunds, put it in the bank. Do not spend it. I'm telling you this. Put it in the bank. You're going to need it. Because we have not just a rainy day coming, but we've got a stormy hurricane coming in on our economy. I do not believe what Wall Street says. I do not believe what the government says. You have got to feel it for yourselves, and I think you are through this inflationary time that we're living through. That is one of the worst things about government. If the leaders do not understand how business works, and by cutting off fuel supplies, and about mining and everything else that moves this country forward, and if they have this ideological thing on Green New Deal and all this other crap, they're not focused on you. They're focused on a political agenda. And that's where we stand today. We are not having people make good decisions because they need to push a political agenda. Political agenda is way more important to them than the lives of you and me. They have all of these individuals in Congress, all of these people in the Senate, and what are they doing? They're doing absolutely nothing to help the American people. We have a president who is off in la-la land and he doesn't even know where he's at most of the time. The nations around the world are making fun of him because he's talking about a little tiny girl and that she looks 19. They're laughing at her. I see it every single day as I scan through Twitter and Facebook and the news and tick-tock or tock-tick or whatever you want to call it. So that means that you and I have got to take control of our own lives. We cannot allow government to overrun us like they're doing at the moment. You and I have got to be proactive and become good Americans, good stewards of our money, and move forward. We have a chance in 2022 to make some changes in government. And then in 2024, we can make some changes again. But we certainly cannot go along with the way that Biden is running this country at the moment. Now listen, you may think, oh, this guy's anti-Biden. Listen, I have liked Biden for a long time. He's been a good storyteller. He has been a good individual who has asked good questions when he's been on Senate committees. He has been a good impact. The problem is he has done nothing in those jobs. And he's doing nothing right now as President of the United States. Don't think that I don't like Biden. I do. I like him. I just don't like his policies. Because his policies are what sets the tone for the United States to survive and to become a leading country in the world. But if you're going to bend over to a whole bunch of foreign countries and go along with the world needs of what they want to do and have control, remember what they want is that it all becomes one big old pot. No competition, no nothing. No financial controls, no nothing. But they want to control how you get a vaccination, how you're going to handle your health care, how you're going to travel. They want to control all of those issues that Americans should decide on, not the government. Listen, they have always said, if you read Lenin stated that in order to take over a country and to put in a new ideology for the country, you have got to start with your children. And that's what they have done. They've started in with our children. And that's why we have so many individuals coming out of college and high school with a view of hatred towards our country. With a view of hatred towards success. With a view of hatred of going forward in life and making something of yourself. A hatred of creating something that's good for the United States. A new product. A new healthcare design. A new whatever it may be. They hate America so much because they have been taught to hate and they have been taught to think that everything is racial. While the rest of us were living together, we're doing our thing. We're working together. We're hiring each other. We're doing whatever we have. We're going to church together. We're doing everything together. We're going to school together. But they have been taught that racism is a process of hate. So understand that if you don't think that they're following a socialist agenda, they are. In fact, they're following the Lenin agenda. Start young. Start with the young minds and move on up. Okay, that is it. I have had it this Saturday. I hope everybody goes out and has a great day, that they do something really beneficial for themselves. Listen, if you like my content on my podcast, please go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Michael Lodge. Again, that's buymeacoffee.com/Michael Lodge. It'll be down in the notes of this podcast. If you have any questions on business or disputes that you may be having, because I am a mediator, send it to info at lodge, lodge-co.com. Again, that's info at lodge-co.com. Okay, let's go out and enjoy our day. This is Mike Lodge. I'll talk with you soon. Tally-o. This podcast has been brought to you by Michael Lodge and Lodge & Company. This podcast has been produced by Michael Lodge of Lodge & Company. See how it all runs together there? This is Mike Lodge. Have a great day. Bye-bye.